Hello everybody, welcome back. In this video, we're going to learn about string streams. We've been working with streams whenever we work with cin and cout and istream and ostream variables. So we're going to be able to draw upon our knowledge of streams we already have and apply them to working with strings. Let's head over to the notes for today and see what our learning objectives are and what our warm-up tasks are. First off, we're going to learn how we can read from a string and write to a string using string streams. We'll see some examples of why this is important here shortly. For our warm-up task, let's go ahead and open a file called istringstream.fun.cpp in gedit and code up an empty main function. So here are a few examples of the types of streams we've been working with so far. In order to get input from a source, some kind of data or some kind of values from somewhere, we've been using cin to get those values from the keyboard, and we've been using ifstream variables to get those values from a file. In order to send values somewhere, like write data to an output, we've been using cout as console output and ostream variables in order to send output or write to a file. We can also process a string like a stream. For example, we can read data or read values from a string just like using cin and ifstream. This is useful to parse data from fancy complex strings that are probably formatted in ways that we don't know how to break apart, but that's about to change. We can also write data to a string like we would with using cout and ostream, and this is useful to format data into fancy complex strings to be used somewhere in the program. Now, in order to use string streams, we'll have to head over to our code and include the ststream library. This should look somewhat familiar because when we needed to work with files, we included the fstream library. F was for file. Here we're including the ststream, where S is for string. And right above it, we're including iostream, and the IO is for input-output. Standard input-output like from the keyboard or to the console. So I'm going to put a comment right next to #include ststream to say why we're including this. We need this for istringstream and ostringstream. And if you haven't noticed yet, saying string stream is kind of a tongue twister. Sometimes it's hard to get out. And now we've got istringstream and ostringstream. The I is for input, the O is for output. It's like our ifstream and our ofstream, but it's worse because string stream is so similar sounding. So I'll try to get it out clearly, but sometimes I get a little caught up in the words, as I'm sure you do too, saying string stream all the time. Now we're ready to write some code related to istringstream and ostringstream variables. So let's go ahead and first declare a string. Let's call it course info. And course info is going to contain some information about the course, like the prefix CPSC space 121, the course number, space C++, the course programming language. Now, let's say that our goal is to extract each piece of information in course info. So we want to have a string called prefix, a string called course num, and a string called language. And we want to assign to each one of these strings the prefix, course name, and language that we extract from this string. Now, if this string was coming in from user input, we would know that we can use the stream extraction operator and cin in order to grab each one of these pieces of information. But this string is not coming from user input. It's hard-coded in our program to be the value of a string variable. So this represents a new problem that we've got to learn to solve. Well, lucky for us, the same logic of, okay, we could grab each of these individual pieces using cin and the stream extraction operator applies to using istringstream instead of cin and the stream extraction operator. So let's write that down. Use istringstream just like you would with cin and the stream extraction operator and getLine to parse text into pieces. And I'm going to write in parentheses, aka tokens. Think about each one of these pieces of information that are separated by a space character as tokens or pieces of information. In the course info string, each token is separated by a space. The stream extraction operator uses spaces to separate strings into tokens for us, which is nice. So we can just use the stream extraction operator. The only thing is, the stream extraction operator uses a stream. So we've got to declare an istringstream in order to work with the stream extraction operator. We can't use a string directly. So let's have a variable of type istringstream, and let's call it input string stream. We need to tell the istringstream variable what string to read from. We do that with the stir istringstream member function. So we'll have input string stream dot stir, which is short for string. We'll set the string for it to parse to be course info. Now we can use the stream extraction operator and getLine with input string stream, just like we would with cin. So let's extract a string from input string stream and store it in prefix. Then we can echo back out prefix and see if we were able to get that CPSC stored in there. And there we have it, CPSC. So now our string stream cursor has been advanced, and the next time we try to extract a value from it, it's going to be sitting right here, and it's going to extract the 121. So I'll give you a task. Go ahead and finish our extraction process, extract course num and extract language. Make sure that everything went successfully by printing out course num and language after you extract the values. Wonderful. It looks like we were successfully able to grab all of the pieces of information out of our course info string that we wanted to pull out. Now let's make the problem a little more challenging. Let's say we assign to course info a new string. And let's say it looks something like this. This course, new line character, uses the new line character, C++ programming, new line character, language, and then some sort of punctuation. Do you think we would be able to pull out each one of these pieces of information that are separated by new line characters, such that we pull out this course, we pull out uses the, we pull out C++ programming, and we pull out language exclamation mark using the stream extraction operator? We would not, because the string extraction operator looks for spaces as well as new line characters. In order to do this, we would have to use getLine, because we know that getLine uses the new line character in order to separate its tokens, whereas the stream extraction operator uses all white space, like spaces, new line characters, and tabs, to separate its tokens. So let's go ahead and try this. I'm going to declare another string, and I'm just going to call it line to make things simple. It's called getLine, and we're going to read from the input string stream, istringstream variable, and we want to store the first line in a variable called line. Okay, it looks like we have an empty line being printed here. Could you expect why that might be the case? This is the case because our cursor processing course info is at the end of course info. Even though we reset course info to be this new string, we still have to update the state of our input string stream such that it uses this new string and it starts at the beginning of this new string. So we need to reset the state of our istringstream variable. We can do this using clear. If we run this again, we see we still get a new blank new line here, even though we reset the state of the istringstream variable. Well, clearing out the cursor is not enough. This clear also clears out the string associated with input string stream. So we need to also set the string with stir again to be course info. And now we see we do get the first line. So one more thing I want to show you. What happens if we just set stir to be course info and we don't reset the state of the istringstream variable with clear? We still get a blank line here. So this is really important. If you're going to use the same string again, you'll need to clear out the state of the istringstream, and you'll need to reset the string to be stir. All right, so rather than adding three more getLine and cout statement pairs in order to process the 1, 2, 3 additional lines of our string, we should use a loop. So let's go ahead and use a dowhile loop. and we will process lines until we reach the end of the string. How do we know when we reach the end of the string? We've reached the end of the string when our string operation fails. How do we know when a string operation fails? We've been working with this kind of member function when we were working with files, and that is the member function good. So we'll keep reading lines from our input string stream while input string stream dot good. And there we have it. This course uses the C++ programming language. Awesome. That looks great. Okay, we are now ready to move on to using ostringstream variables in order to write to a string. And I'm going to put in parentheses next to my note on write, aka construct build. Sometimes you can think about writing to a string as building or constructing a string. So let's first go ahead and declare an ostringstream variable. We can declare it right after we declare our istringstream. And I'm going to call mine output string stream. So we can use the stream insertion operator with ostringstream just like we would with cout and ofstream. Really not much new here to learn. What we're going to do is use our output string stream and the stream insertion operator to write strings to the output string stream object. So let's go ahead and say something like, this course uses the, and we'll add in, say, language, and then maybe some exclamation marks at the end. So this looks a lot like how we would write to an ofstream variable, how we would write to cout, but this time we're writing to an ostringstream. Now, the ostringstream is not a string itself, it's a stream. So if we want to get the string from the stream that we've been writing to using the stream insertion operator, we've got to assign to a variable the return value of output string stream dot stir. And I'll make a note here, get the string we have been building with the stream insertion operator. Then let's print out line. And there we see, this course uses the C++, and I should finish this. Programming language. There we go. So we built this string using individual pieces of strings and the stream insertion operator. Now, what would be another way that we could have constructed this string without using ostringstream? We could use the string concatenation operator to build this string as well. So after we've been working with istringstream and ostringstream, you're probably wondering, why is this useful? This seems like a lot of code that doesn't seem to solve very interesting problems. Well, in the next video, we're going to solve an extremely important problem, which is called string tokenizing. Let's say, for example, that we have some kind of data stored in a file of this form. Say value A, value B, value C, so on and so forth. where each value is separated by a comma or a comma in a space, and we want to get each individual value out independently. Let's say there's no spaces in between here, so we can't use the stream extraction operator in order to find those spaces. Let's say there's just commas that are separating all of our values. How can we get these individual values out here? Well, something you may be thinking of is we could use our string member functions, right? We could look for the commas and then use substr in order to get substrings based on where those commas are at. And that's a really good idea. We can also solve this problem using string streams. And we're going to do that in our next video. Stay tuned.